Let's start with the poster for UFC 302 has been officially launched, as we can see, featuring Islam and Dustin in the main event showcased at a high level for the title fight. On the other hand, we can see Paulo Costa and Sean Strickland. How did you like this poster? Personally, I quite liked it. A new fight for Charles Oliveira has been nearly confirmed. Recently, in an interview, Charles Oliveira revealed that he is now fully recovered from the injury he suffered in his last fight and is ready to compete again. He mentioned that he is aiming for a return in July or August. Responding to this, Mateusz Gamrot said he is also ready to fight in July or August and wants to fight with him. Now it remains to be seen whether Oliveira accepts Gamrot's challenge or not. Justin Gaethje reveals his dream fight.
If you were to have a dream fight with anyone in the UFC in all time, who would it be?
It's hard to picture myself fighting someone from a different era. I mean, I already fought most of the people I would have answered, like Cowboy, Barboza, Eddie, Dustin, Max. I wouldn't mind getting the Max fight back, but that's probably because of recency bias, my last loss. So you always want that one back. I got the Poirier beat me, I got to get that one back. That was nice. Good little redemption. Not often do you get that chance in this sport.
A famous fighter from the PFL explained why he didn't join UFC, even though he had the chance. The UFC is like the big boss in MMA. They're way ahead of everyone else and where most fighters dream of being, but some fighters does not believe this is the case. Paul Hughes, who is a big name in the PFL, chose not to join the UFC even after being offered the opportunity because he believes he deserves to be compensated for the value he brings to the sport, regardless of whether he chooses to sign with the UFC or pursue his own path. Listen what Paul said.
Look, I mean, being on that card definitely wasn't off the table. There's no reason why I wouldn't or couldn't have been on that card if I had chosen to sign with the UFC, which I, of course, had an offer from. These sort of things weren't off the table. But look, mate, I'm trailblazing my own path here. I am on my own journey and I'm forging a new journey for myself, but also for younger fighters coming up through this game that have star potential. You don't always have to just go this pathway of what you're being told to do, and you're most likely not getting compensated for it at the beginning of your career. Why should you have to fight a few years before you start making money when you bring the value to the table where you should be getting paid your worth? That's how I see it. And I understand if you're a young fighter coming up, you've got 6, 7, 8 fights and you don't really have a big brand for yourself, you haven't won world titles outside of the organization, then go down that pathway potentially. But mate, as I mentioned, not a lot of fighters come out the other side of this game with money in the bank, and the value that I bring to this game and the value that I bring to my fights and the sport and the atmosphere and the feeling that I bring, I deserve to get compensated for that, because I believe that I bring something different than other people do,
Alexander Volkanovski says that Jose Aldo is the featherweight GOAT. Aldo's reign as the UFC featherweight champion from 2010 to 2015 was marked by his dominance and unparalleled skill set. He defended his title an impressive 7 times during his tenure, solidifying his status as one of the most formidable champions in UFC history. In a recent statement, current featherweight fighter Alexander Volkanovski voiced his admiration for Jose Aldo, labeling him as the greatest featherweight of all time.
So, who's the greatest featherweight of all time?
Who's the greatest featherweight, man? That's I can appreciate what Aldo's done. I really, that's for other people to decide. But for me, if you're going to ask me, I'm going to say Aldo, because he was a champion for a very long time. Obviously, people are going to look at competition and all that, but to be champion that long, things go wrong. You fight injured. You know what I mean? There's so many things can go wrong, and to be champion that long, it's saying something. And man, he was very dominant as a champion as well. So full respect to Aldo.
Josh.